Tornado Tadej is absolutely obliterating the Giro this year, with absolutely insane power numbers. Although his power data is not public, he beat Diamond Arensman by 11 seconds on stage 8 of the Giro, who averaged 6.1 watts per kilogram for 36 minutes. Not only did Tadej beat him, but was also nonchalantly closing down every attack, meaning he had a lot more than 6.1 watts per kilogram in the tank. Competitors such as Geraint Thomas have said Tadej's performance is insane, but just how strong is he and recent Tour de France winners? And how long would us mere mortals be able to keep up? As a semi-strong cyclist, I wanted to challenge myself to see just how long I could hang on to this furious pace. I remember growing up and watching as my favorite riders were dropped one by one by the blistering pace being set on the climbs. Team Sky, with greats such as Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome, were famous for this tactic. They would start a climb with their GC contender at the back, and one by one, the domestiques would essentially go all out, pacing until their legs gave out, and it was the next man up. Along the way, commentators would call out, "Ooh, he is cracking," until it was only a select small group left. As I heard my favorite riders call, I thought to myself, keep going, it doesn't look that bad. But I failed to realize just how hard the pace was. In fact, Tadej's performance in stage 8 of the Giro isn't even close to his personal best. On stage 5 of the 2023 Tour de France, he had a near record-breaking performance, but was still beaten by Jonas Vingegaard by over a minute. While Vingegaard's power data isn't public, based on other riders, we have a reasonable estimate that he rode at 6.9 watts per kilogram for almost 23 minutes. Oh yeah, and let's not forget, this effort was done after 3,500 kilojoules of work, over 1,000 meters above sea level, and hot temperatures. And this isn't the only superhuman effort these two have done. After an effort like this, my legs would be begging for a rest. But no, these two, the very next day, averaged about 6.8 watts per kilogram, and the final 4.7 kilometers, or 13 minutes, of the famed Col de Tourmalet. And this was after a grueling stage profile with a hard pace. But are these two the only ones capable of huge power numbers? No. In modern era cycling, many others have been able to ride this hard. Lance Armstrong, in 2004, averaged 495 watts on the long Alpe d'Huez climb, which equates to 6.97 watts per kilogram. And Alberto Contador posted a photo of a 20-minute power test. At 458 watts and 61.6 kg, it implies he held 7.4 watts per kilogram. At these levels, these two would be dropping the duo of Vingegaard and Tadej today. Obviously the former two have had accusations of performance enhancement, but I'm not here to accuse them, but only to point out the numbers that they produce. But enough about how many and how hard the pros can ride. I think we all understand it's a lot faster than you or me can. Us amateurs can't hold 7 watts per kilogram over 20 minutes. But what is a reasonable pace for us? Well, a typical strong Zwift Cat B rider has a 1 and 2 minute power between 6 and 8 watts per kilogram. So they would likely last somewhere in between, while a typical Cat C would last between 30 seconds and 1 minute. But since I will be suffering through this test, how long will I hang on? Well, I know it won't be a full 20 minutes, with my PR only being 4.9 watts per kilogram. Pretty strong, but still a whopping 2 watts per kilogram below what the top pros are doing. But I know my all-time and minute power is 7.1 and 6.4 watts per kilogram, so I'd be happy with that. And to give myself an extra little advantage, I will have an ever so slight drafting benefit as the climb starts off gradually. And here we go. Let's see how long I can survive. I will have to match a 6.8 watt per kilogram pace on the Innsbruck KOM. Tadej Pogacar will be played by the rider in orange, producing a massive 449 watts at a weight of 66 kilograms. I will have my work cut out for me, riding at 73 kilograms. Cue the dramatic music. Absolutely brutal. I was pretty happy with 245. And we see here, I averaged 6.25 watts per kilogram to hang onto the wheel. You may be asking, why did I only require 6.25 watts per kilogram when Tadej was riding at 6.8? Well, about 0.15 of the difference can be explained by a concept called true watts per kilogram. Since I am a bit heavier, the bike represents a lower proportion of the total weight, meaning more of my power is going towards pushing me forward as opposed to the dead weight of the bike. The majority of the remaining 0.4 watts per kilogram is explained by the drafting benefit received. Although many portions were above 7%, at such high watts and speed, I still received an average about 20 watts saved over the segment. And this makes logical sense. The fact that some draft benefit still exists at high watts partially explains why it is usually the first rider in the pace line who completely cracks. I put out big efforts in races before, but that was unlike anything I've ever done. Immediately at the start of my test, my legs could feel the difference between my standard 20-minute pace and what these pros are doing. It wasn't even my cardio system that failed me, but how much musculoskeletal fatigue built up from the sheer power required. Although in more fresh legs, and based on my all-time PR, I could potentially have lasted another 30 or 40 seconds. But the purpose was to show just how hard it is to hang on with the pace line, leading the GC contenders up the mountains. And I think I accomplished that. And quite frankly, I don't want to suffer that much again anytime soon. I know what you may say about this effort though, but I had the advantage of sitting on a wheel, gaining some draft. And to be honest, I wanted to provide every advantage I could. Although the beginning was more gradual, it quickly kicked to steep gradients and I was going all out to hang on. If you enjoyed watching, feel free to give a like for all the suffering I endured. Thank you for joining.